Hello, this is Wahid Ahmed and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about the lipids, which is a part of CSS PMS levels, and we are going to discuss in detail lipids, and this is about the biological science section 2 and biomolecules. So we know that there are four types of biomolecules which we need to discuss in according to the CSS PMS levels, which is actually carbohydrates, lipids, proteins and nucleic acids. So far we have discussed about the carbohydrate and proteins. In today's lecture we are going to discuss about lipids in detail. So first of all I want to tell you that keeping in mind in the previous lecture that what are biomolecules. Biomolecules are the molecules which are produced by the human body and they play a larger role or a functional role or vital role in the body of humans. So today in detail we are going to discuss the third type of biomolecule, which is lipids. Okay, how we can define lipid? So before moving on to the defining and all of the material relating to lipids, first of all we need to look at the content which we are going to study about lipids. First of all, I want to tell you that we are going to discuss about we will be defining lipids first of all. Second, what is the structure of lipids? Third, what is the classification of lipids? At fourth, we are going to discuss about the properties of lipids, and at fifth, what role does lipids play? So far the lipids are simply known by lame people that they are fats, and they usually play a role in increasing the weight of a body. So this is not true for lipids totally, but they do contribute to the fatness, obesity or overweightness of the people, but this is actually not true. There are many other functions which are served by the lipids. So we are going to discuss in detail those functions. First of all, we are going to define lipids. It is very difficult to define lipids in a precise manner because number of various groups make up the lipids. Various chemical groups, such as we have studied in chemistry about the carboxylic acids and alcohols and different other groups. So variety of chemical groups combine together to form fats. But what is true about lipids or what is true about fats is that precisely it is difficult to define lipids because lipids are a very group of chemical groups. As I have told you, there are a number of groups that are attached, and so they are lipids. So if we have the example of phospholipids, which is a part of our cell membrane. So they have the main ingredient of lipids, but they have attached phosphate group. So this is the reason. So it is difficult to define lipids, but in general sense we have actually defined lipids. What is that? But in simple words, it can be defined as naturally occurring organic compound. As it is made by body, so it's an organic compound formed by fatty acids and alcohols. So these are the two major components which are involved in the formation of lipids. What are they? They are fatty acids and alcohols. So in every type of lipid, if you are going to encounter that they contains two components which are necessary. First of all, what is that? Fatty acids. And the second, we have alcohols. When they two combine together, they form the lipids. Most familiar lipids are fats and oils, so which we use in our foods, basically which we use in our foods during the in the junk foods which are preferred by most of us, which also cause overweight. That's why most of the people are overweight, because we are consuming too much fried material in our body. So we are consuming that, and that is accumulating in our body. So most familiar lipids are fats and lipids. So in simple terms, lipids is an organic compound that is made in our body, and that is formed from the two necessary components, which are fatty acids and alcohol. So there are different types of lipids. There are different categories of lipids which we are going to encounter now. We have phospholipid, that is a variant of lipid. We have triglycerides, that is a variant of lipid. So basic structure for lipid contains two components, that is fatty acid and the second one is alcohol. If these two components are present and they have chemically bonded together, so they form the lipids. So another thing must be kept in mind, which we will be discussing in the structure of lipids. So far we have defined lipids. So moving on to the next point, we are going to discuss in detail the structure of lipids. Okay, well, I have told you that different types variants of lipids exist, such as triglyceride. The second one I have told you that is phospholipid, that is present in the cell membrane of an animal cell. So from this point of view, we can say that lipids are present everywhere in every organism, ranging from microorganism to the complex organisms such as plants and animals. Microorganism, how? The cell membrane, they contain lipids. So this is one of the things we can say that lipids are present there. How in the animal cell? That is a clear stance. Animal cell, they have also cell membrane. Another thing, we have body fat too. So lipids is present in every organism. So plant contains also lipids. How? We extract different oils, sunflower oil, olive oils. So these are fatty acid in nature. So they are also present everywhere. So lipid is a compound which contains fatty acid and alcohol chemically bind together to form ester linkage is called lipid, and they are present every organism and everywhere in nature, and they are produced by body. So this is the symptom, and from that we are moving to the next topic, that is about the structure of lipid. We are going to take one type of lipid, that is triglycerides, and we are going to discuss as a base as this provides a basic skeleton for lipids. So basic unit of lipid, triglyceride, common fat we are going to discuss. Triglyceride is made up of 3 fatty acid groups and 1 glycerol. So glycerol, as we know that different chemical compounds can be identified from their names. Alcohols can be identified by all. So glycerol is an alcohol, is a type of alcohol that contains 3 carbon atoms. Propane 1, 2, 3 triol is its nomenclature name, it's a scientific name. Most of them do not need to remember that, but I have told you an additional information. So 3 fatty acid molecules, when combined with glycerol, they form triglyceride, which are actually abundant in our body. The fat which is stored in our body as energy use is in the form of triglyceride, while phospholipid is present in our plasma membrane of the cell, which play different other roles, which give fluid-mosaic model to the structure of plasma membrane. So triglyceride is composed of 3 fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, we are going to discuss in detail about the fatty acid. Acid contains COOH carboxylic group. So fatty acids are series of acids, some of which are found in lipids. So why they are called fatty acids? They are acidic in nature. They contain a hydrogen atom at the end, at the terminal head. So they are acidic in nature. The term why it is given fatty acid, because they are present in fats. So that is why they have fat. Not all acids are called fatty acids, but some of the acids which are found in the fat are called fatty acids. So they contain COOH group at the terminal head of a structure. So you can see that this is the fatty acid group, and actually this is complete triglyceride molecule. So 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol. But one thing in mind, that 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol make up the triglyceride. So one thing in mind, that this has been bonded. This is an ester linkage between alcohol and fatty acids. So if we draw simply a fatty acid, that would be like, this is carbon skeleton, we have C double bond OH. This is carboxylic group, which represents the acidic nature of fats. And if we draw the glycerol molecule, that would be separate and hydrogen atom would be attached here. So in this way, 1 glycerol that contains 3 skeleton in the carbon atom are present in 1 glycerol molecule, and 3 fatty acid groups, when combined together, they form actually the triglyceride. So hydrocarbon backbone, these fatty acids provide the hydrocarbon backbone. Okay, these fatty acids actually is actually the bonding in fatty acids results in the classification of fats. So we are going to take. So here we have represented the skeleton of a hydrocarbon chain in the fatty acid. If they contains basically a triple or double bond in them, they are classified as unsaturated fatty acid. But this is our third topic, so we are going to stop here and cover this topic first of all. So hydrocarbon tail of fatty acid has important role in classification of fatty acid. So hydrocarbon chain, how long should be the hydrocarbon chain of fatty acid? It may start from 50. Hydrocarbon means they have carbon attached with hydrogen in linear position, in tilt position. They could be in linear position, they could be in tilt position, they could be in circular form. So different fatty acids exist in nature. So two component fatty acids and alcohol esters. Alcohol esters, which is one example, we have given glycerol, form the triglyceride. Series of organic molecules which contain OH group are called alcohols. Glycerol is an alcohol which contains 3 hydroxyl group. So we can see that this is a glycerol, one molecule. It contains 3 hydroxyl group, OH group, if they are separated. When they are chemically combined, when condensation reaction takes place, so they form the triglyceride. So acid plus alcohol, they are linked together through ester linkage, which I have told you earlier. So this is the actually structure of triglyceride. So another fact we can discuss here is about phospholipid, which has actually attached with them phosphate group. So they form phospholipids. So there is a variety of variation. That's why it is difficult to define fats. Actually, phospholipids are fats, but from that it is very difficult to define. So the every basic molecule of lipid contains 2 group fatty acids and alcohol together. So moving on to next topics, there is a classification of lipids which is based on the hydrocarbon chain. If the hydrocarbon chain of fatty acid contains no double bond like this one in triglyceride, so they are called saturated fatty acids. And what are the properties? Saturated fatty acids are those which do not contain any double bond in the hydrocarbon tail of fatty acid. They are solid at room temperature. They are actually found in our milk, cheese, butter, and they are actually not good for your health, not good for our health. The excessive use of these is prohibited. We must not accumulate more than 10 to 20% of the calories from the fats. So we should consume lesser fats, because 1 gram of fat provides 9.1 calories. So it's quite high in energy, while carbohydrates provide 3.9 to 4 calories per gram. So they provide a lot of energy to us. So we should consume less fat in our diet. So saturated fatty acids are actually solid at room temperature in the structure. They do not carry any double bond in the hydrocarbon skeleton. While these are the trans fats. And the second type of trans fats, they are actually present in our processed foods, like which are crispier in nature. Why they are crispier in nature? Due to trans fat. Trans fat is actually made from the unsaturated type of fat, which do contain hydrogen double bond in their structure, and unsaturated fatty acids are those which are actually liquid in temperature. When they are hydrogenated, means they have been added extra hydrogen where double bond of an unsaturated hydrocarbon chain was present, they become hydrogenated. These are trans fats. Actually, you have seen in many ads that these oil do not contain any trans fats, because they are dangerous, they are hard, they are actually hard temperature, they have greater shelf life. So they retain in our body for a longer period of time. So that is difficult to get rid of trans fats, and they actually reduce the elasticity of your arteries, veins. So trans fat consumption should be less in your food. So most of the countries in the Western world have actually stopped using trans fats due to its severe disadvantages to the body. increasing weight and all these concerns. So next point we are going to discuss about is unsaturated fat. I have already told you they are liquid at room temperature. Actually, saturated fats are obtained from your animal fat, animal dairy products, while unsaturated fats are obtained from your plants. Those oils are unsaturated in nature, they are liquid at room temperature. So your sunflower, your peanut oil, though all those oils are categorized under unsaturated fat and they are liquid in room temperature. The next point is that we have two types of unsaturated fats. First is monosaturated fat and second is polysaturated fat. Monosaturated fat are those which only contain single double bond in their hydrocarbon tail. If they have one double bond in complete hydrocarbon tail, so they are monosaturated fat. They are good for health because they reduce your cholesterol level. So there are two types of cholesterol in your body. One is LDL cholesterol and second is HDL cholesterol. What does LDL or HDL means? LDL are low lipo-density protein, basically cholesterol, and these are high density lipoprotein cholesterol. Actually, if we consume monosaturated fats, actually these are unsaturated in nature, so they accumulate high density lipocholesterol because they are good in nature. They are scavengers to remove the fat from your body. If your body accumulates low density lipoprotein cholesterol, lipoprotein is one of the, and that moves the fat molecules from your body. So low density, so low movement of those lipid molecules from your body. High density lipoproteins, so they will move most of their fat from the body. So actually monosaturated and polysaturated fats increase the amount of HDL cholesterol, which is shown in blood reports. If you do have HDL cholesterol high in nature, that means you are healthy. While if you have low high LDL cholesterol, so it means you are at risk. So monosaturated fats are those which contain one single bond in the hydrocarbon chain, while unsaturated fats are those which contains multiple bonds in the hydrocarbon tail. So actually we can obtain polyunsaturated from our meat, fish, that is omega-3 and omega-6, which is a highly polyunsaturated fats, and they are good for health because they reduce the amount of LDL cholesterol from your body and increase the amount of HDL cholesterol in your body. So next point, we are moving towards the properties. From this all lecture, we can summarize the properties, some of the properties. I have already told you fats are source of energy. They point 9.1 gram of calories from this. So this is one thing. Second, the solubility. Actually, they are insoluble in water, but they are soluble in non-polar solvents such as chloroform ether. These are the substances in which actually fats are soluble. The third point is electrical insulator. They act as an electrical insulator. We know that our nervous system is made up of nerves and nerve structure, so that we have axon, cell body and terminal. So this axon region of nerve is insulated with the lipids. So they provide an efficient mechanism for the transmission of nerve impulse by actually defending the loss of signal from the nerve. So they act as an electrical insulator. So you can from summarize that. So they are kind of good and essential for our body. From the melting properties of fats could be determined on the basis of how many hydrocarbon atoms they contain and how saturated they are. So if they have quite a high, contains no double bond, and they have quite high number of hydrogen carbon atoms, so they would have definitely high melting point. The next property is basically fats. For animal fat are actually solid at room temperature, while plant fats are actually oil at room temperature. These are some properties. From there, we are going to define the functions of lipids. First of all, one of the functions of lipids is that they provide you energy. Second, they also are available for fatty acid vitamins. Some of the vitamins do require your fatty acids for the proper functioning of your body. They are somehow part of your enzymes. They are part of your cell membrane, which regulate the structure of cell membrane and which allow the movement of different molecules from the cell. So they serve as an insulation. Yes, you have two types of fat in your body. That is subcutaneous fat and visceral fat, which has been accumulated in your body. Visceral fat is those fat that is present inside your body everywhere. And subcutaneous fat is below under the skin. Your thigh fat is actually providing you insulation. That is subcutaneous fat. While your belly fat is actually visceral fat, and that is damaging for your body. So they have been accumulated over time. Brown fat and white fat. There are two concepts. Brown fat is actually the fat which is provide insulation to your body, while white fat is accumulators of excessive triglycerides in your body. So these are the functions of lipids. So here we are going to end our lecture. If you like the video, do comment, share, like and subscribe my channel for further more videos. Thank you so much.